Hello and welcome to Alive After Reading. I'm your host, Tim Niederreiter, and I am alive after death. I mean, in this case, the show has been off the air on my podcast circuit for quite a while, but I'm here. I'm back, and I've got kind of new format for us, new ideas for where the show's going to go, and I'm really happy to be back because I have missed podcasting and being on YouTube and all the things I haven't been doing over the last 2 years or so. So, in case you don't know, I'm an author, but that's not what the show's about. Not today. Nor the old format was very much an interview show. I would talk to other writers, other creative people, and today we're not doing that. Today, let me say, today we are going to be talking about. Oh, and ignore all the stuff on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, sorry. This is not what the show is about today. Today, I have like a document camera over there, over here somewhere, that's telling me that's yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, I'm not sure if you can see me either, but regardless, I'm here. I'm talking to you about books I've been reading lately because I've been reading a lot more lately. In fact, this year has been pretty involved. Mostly, I read on my Kindle app on my phone, but I do read other stuff. I mean, obviously, I read a lot of other stuff, the internet, articles, things like that. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just do a quick rundown. And obviously, compared to some booktube people, I've you know not read that much this year. But just the books I've finished so far this year, we're gonna do a quick rundown of that today. So, because I don't edit videos, this is kind of going to be done in one take. So think of it like a stream without interaction. I know. Yeah, maybe someday I'll do a live stream, but that today is not that day. So I have my goal this year was to read 20 books. I've read 15 so far, and we're not even halfway through the year. Or we're a little over halfway through the year. Yeah, 200 days in basically. And I want to see what books I have read this year. Where we're going to find that. Well, anyway, I know what I don't remember all the things I started this year or finished this year even. But when I read, I also want you to know that I mean, I think a lot of people do this, but I've not heard of a lot of people say it. I bounce around on pages. I read a lot of actual, I read a lot of text out of order. Let me say, when I'm reading fiction, especially, I'll bounce around. I'll read three lines down. I'll go back and figure out what I missed and stuff like that. I'll fill it all in. Eventually, I read the whole thing. Usually, I mean, if the book's not grabbing me, I won't read the whole set thing. And some people will say that that's kind of Philistine behavior, and I might even agree at one point. But I don't think it makes sense to read a book in a way you don't enjoy. And this is just kind of how I do it. I enjoy it this way. So that's how I experience fiction. And I mean, nonfiction for that matter, but it's less of an issue with nonfiction for some people, I think, because that's kind of like the sort of nonfiction I read is a lot of books about writing, a lot of guidebooks, a lot of history. And that sort of thing is kind of, there's no spoilers in a nonfiction book about writing. At least you're not spoiling the book by reading it differently. So, regardless, we are. I'm gonna just actually. Maybe I was wrong with the rundown, but we're gonna start with the last book I finished, which was Hellraiser by well, not Hellraiser, The Hellbound Heart, which the movie Hellraiser is based on, and the book is by Clive Barker. It's a novella, short little book, and it's great. I gotta say, I am really impressed with it, and it is poof. I mean, if you see the movie, this is basically just the movie, but a little bit more explicit and less visual, obviously, because it's a novel, a novella, not a piece of film. But I enjoy it a great deal. I enjoyed it a great deal. I thought the characterization was quite interesting, and the differences were also quite striking between the book and the movie. So, without going into further details, that book, I'm not going to offer any starred reviews here or anything, but that book does stand out so far as a very solid book this year. And also because it's the most recent read. As far as other books I read this year, I'm just scrolling back through it because there's no easy way to see all the books I read this year that I can tell. And the books the other book that I've been rereading a bit lately that I did also read this year is Tony Bath's Ancient Wargaming. That book is pretty solid. It's really interesting because I'm a dyed in the wool war gamer. play, like, I played Warhammer since I was little, done a lot of other stuff that's a lot of other weirder games since then, and it's an exciting read for people who are into the hobby of wargaming. But I don't know if it would be attractive to other people, especially with the level of just sheer detail in some of the rule sets and stuff that are included. So yeah. Oh, here's my red books. Okay, red books. Let's see what we got here. Red. I've only read 111 books on this phone. Anyway, so next up we got. Oh my, they're not in order. Darn. Next up, I read The Trouble with Peace and a Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. I'm reading the third book right now, which is called The Wisdom of Crowds. These are all fantastic books. They're all great. I just and Abercrombie is one of my favorite authors, as I think I may have said. I really appreciate these dark fantasies. They are what people call grimdark. I mean, Abercrombie's Twitter handle was, last time I checked, was Lord Grim at Lord Grimdark. But it's just, yeah, fantastic stuff. And honestly, I'm just gonna stick with the novels so far, and that means that covers most of the novels I read this year so far, because I've read a lot of nonfiction, mostly about wargaming and game design, and I'm in the deep end there, and a little bit about writing. But yeah, so I really am excited about it. I just wanted to get a little something out there, I just wanted to talk to you about what's going on and where I've been, because writing fiction is tough. And when my mom passed away in 2024, that really put the nail in the coffin of the old format. I'm just not interested in interviewing authors anymore. But I'm still an author. I'm still very interested in books. And hell yeah, I'm back, alive after death, Iron Maiden style. I'm also a metalhead, so that's important to remember going forward. Heavy metal, dude. All right, so we're going to just call that it for now. Thank you for listening. And you can find more of my books at NeedAWriter.com, timneederwriter.com. And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. See you around.